With that hospital closing, I either have to go a half an hour one way or go all the way to Bangor. My life is at risk if I go into cardiac arrest, and from both sides of my family, there is a serious risk in about 5 to 10 years of that happening. We went from local little tiny doctor's offices to government-controlled,
no,
insurance company-controlled,
no,
massive corporate,
there you go,
doctor's offices and hospitals. And now we can't get doctors. We can't get good healthcare, broadly speaking.
Rural America is facing a full-blown maternity care crisis, and no one's coming to help. More than half of all rural hospitals in the United States have no labor and delivery services. And the ones that do, nearly 200 of them are at risk of shutting down maternity care entirely. These hospitals aren't cutting services because they want to. They're doing it because they're losing money every single time someone gives birth. So here's the financial reality. Medicaid pays for over 40% of births in rural areas, but it reimburses less than what it costs to provide that care. So that means hospitals lose thousands per delivery. In fact, even if a rural hospital has a fully staffed maternity unit, it can still lose money just by keeping it open. So this isn't just bad business, it's a public health disaster. When rural hospitals close their OB units, families are forced to drive over an hour to the nearest delivery center. That's dangerous. Maternal and infant mortality increases, preterm births increase, C-section rates go up, and rural Black and Indigenous women, they face the highest risk of death and complications.
Every dollar that the Republicans took from Medicaid and rural hospitals by extension to spend on building bombs to then go and bomb hospitals in different countries is a dollar that they stole from you and those hospitals that would have treated you were you to have cardiac arrest in Bangor, Maine. I hope that helps. It's not going to. Hospitals help generally.
Never forget that elections have consequences. For one city in Nebraska, they're learning that shit the hard way. Curtis, Nebraska has a population of 806. Just the kind of place with a single traffic light, one health clinic, and a fuck ton of American flags. And in 2024, over 85% of them voted for Donald Trump. Now, their only medical clinic is shutting down by September 30th of this year. It's the kind of place people went for everything. For checkups, blood work, urgent care, you name it, that's where they went. And once it's gone, they'll be looking at a 40-mile round trip just to see a doctor. So who have they decided to blame? Not Trump, not the Republican Party. They're blaming the hospital executives. Like this is some sort of isolated business failure and not the direct result of the GOP's big, beautiful bill that gutted Medicaid and rural healthcare funding. That bill slashed nearly $1 trillion from Medicaid. Small-town hospitals like Curtis's, they were the first ones thrown under the bus. And the GOP knew it was coming. And now look where these people are. Sick, stranded, and still making excuses for the guy who signed their death warrant. But this is the cost of voting for the con man, guys. Your taxes don't get you care. Your vote doesn't get you help. It just buys you a slower, more painful collapse. So when you say you support law and order and protecting life, but watch your hospital close down under a president you put back in power, you're not just a voter. You're the getaway driver.
Health systems in rural America are struggling. Many are losing money, and over the past decade, more than 100 have closed. During the debate over the One Big Beautiful Budget Bill, some lawmakers expressed concern that Medicaid cuts would threaten rural health systems, which rely on those payments to keep their doors open.
Rural providers, especially our rural hospitals and nursing homes, are under great financial strain right now. When these facilities close their doors, the people they serve are often left behind without access to health care.
So you were telling me that people are unaware, they're unaware that the whole reason why hospitals are not allowed to turn you away in an emergency situation, regardless of your ability to pay, is because of the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, which states that hospitals who receive Medicare funding are not allowed to turn you away. And they are proposing to cut back on Medicare and Medicaid Talk to a caseworker. There are no ineligible people who are receiving it. The only people who are receiving it are eligible because there is a vetting process. All these people that they say are illegally getting it, it's not happening. The point is to start the process to get rid of it entirely. And if we get rid of the only guaranteed payment for medical care in this country and we leave it all to our pockets with no support, guess what's going to happen to you? You are going to lose out on care because hospitals are going to close who depend on that funding. We don't have enough money to pay the bills that they decided were fair, which I'm sorry, I just had a life-saving surgery and I owe $3,000. If I don't pay $55 fucking dollars that I don't have to my primary care physician, they can decide to no longer treat me, and they will. And I've got to start all over again somewhere else. You all think that you're safe because, it's been that way because we fought to get it that way, and they're reversing it. You all have been so fucking pampered that you don't understand what we had to fight for to get you.
Imagine living in a town where the nearest emergency room suddenly shuts its doors. No hospital, longer ambulance ride, fewer doctors, and families left wondering where they will go in a medical emergency. For many rural Americans, that's no longer a fear. It's becoming a reality. Let's watch more clips and we'll come back to talk about it.
Listen, according to Augusta Hospital News, there are 3 hospitals in rural Virginia that will be closing. They will consolidate. And they are reporting it is because of the one big beautiful bill. Y'all know that's the bill that Donald Trump was pushing so hard back in May, June, and July. He wanted it passed by the 4th of July, but it didn't happen then. But eventually they went on and passed it. Big Beautiful Bill Act, right? So that cut millions and millions and billions of dollars from Medicaid. And they are saying that because of these Medicaid cuts, these hospitals will not be able to sustain. I told y'all that. I try to tell y'all that. Go back and listen to the video. Go back and look at the videos. I told y'all that Medicaid was very important. The dollars that go out there keep a lot of these rural hospitals open. And if they cut those dollars, I said, guess what? Hospitals will close. So this is in the state of Virginia. This is going to be happening, across the United States. This is not going to just be in Virginia. And these are facts. Now, TikTok can say what they want to. Go do your facts. Fact check, it's out there. Do your own research.
She saw that in Indiana, there are 12 rural hospitals projected to close due to the big, beautiful bill. Is that correct? Yes, unfortunately, is correct. 12 rural hospitals are expected to close in Indiana. Is Indiana a red state and voting for Trump? Yes. Did Indiana vote to spend money on military and deporting brown people? Yes. Is Indiana going to learn a hard lesson because they are a red state? 12 rural hospitals are going to close. Also, millions of Americans are going to be cut off Medicaid, SNAP benefits, which affect red states the most. So is Indiana getting what they voted for, like Texas and this tragic flood? Like farmers, cattle ranchers, coal miners, truckers, federal workers who voted for Trump, Latinos who voted for Trump, Cubans for Trump, Venezuelans for Trump, Haitians for Trump, Mexicans for Trump. Yes, they're all getting what they voted for.
Georgia hospitals are closing. Now, I probably lost half of you because you're just like, what do I care? I don't live here. And also, what does that have to do with me? But guess what? Newsflash, not everyone wants to or can afford to live in Buckhead, Sandy Springs. So people in rural Georgia are really feeling this. I'm a healthcare recruiter, and I was recently laid off from a huge hospital out here in Georgia due to a hiring freeze. Are Georgians less sick? Do the math. They're projecting about 30% of hospitals to start closing, and the reason is slim margins. These hospitals are not making money. They have been operating in the red for some time. Now, the reason is people simply cannot afford healthcare. Also, Georgia has not expanded Medicaid. People are simply left without insurance. Them shutting down the hospitals is not nothing. People literally have to now schlep to hospitals in larger cities or larger towns. Gas is already $5 to $6 a gallon. Plus, you got to pay for parking when you get to the hospital. Plus the co-pays. Plus the yada yada yada. It like the bill is already $1 gazillion. Let's be real. Or worse, people just don't go to the hospital and they just wait it out. This is someone's auntie. This is someone's mother. This is someone's grandmother. Like this is someone's loved one.
Healthcare isn't just another political talking point. For millions of Americans living in rural communities, it's the difference between getting life-saving treatment in minutes or waiting an hour to reach the nearest hospital. Across the country, rural hospitals have faced growing financial pressure for years. Healthcare experts point to a combination of rising operating costs, staffing shortages, declining population, and change in reimbursement and funding as factors that have made it difficult for many facilities to remain open. When a rural hospital closes, the impact goes far beyond healthcare. Job disappears, local businesses lose customers, emergency response times increase, and families, senior veterans, and people with chronic illness often have to travel much further to just receive routine care. That's why debate over healthcare funding have become so important. Supporters of spending cuts argue that government programs need reform to remain financially sustainable. Critics warn that reducing funding without replacing essential services can leave already vulnerable communities with even fewer healthcare options. One thing is certain, when a hospital closes, politics become personal. What do you think? Should protecting rural hospitals be a national priority, or should lawmakers focus first on reducing government spending? Share your thoughts in the comments respectfully, and before you go, do well to like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next.